Hey there, fourth graders. We are moving on to Module 2, Lesson 3, and today we are doing metric capacity. I think one thing that I haven't really mentioned is that we don't really use the metric system here in the United States, so that's why it might be a little different for some people. We typically, when we're baking or measuring, we use, when we're measuring, we might use inches, okay, or feet. When we're weighing, we typically, for weight, we use pounds or ounces. And then when we're measuring capacity, think when you're baking, cups, teaspoons. Okay, we don't typically use milliliters or liters, which is what we're going to be using today. Metric capacity. Capacity is when you're measuring liquids. So right in front of you, you have a beaker. I'm sure you're familiar with something that looks like this. But you'll notice that it has liters, LTR, for liters, and ML for milliliters. Now, let's say I poured water all the way up until I got to my 1 liter mark, to my capacity. You'll also notice that if it's 1 liter, it also equals 1,000 milliliters. It's the same. 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters. And you'll notice so far that every metric measurement that we've used so far has something in common. And that is the number 1,000. If you go all the way back, and if you take a minute to flip back into your notes, we did centimeters, meters, and kilometers. And if you remember, 1 kilometer equaled 1,000 meters. And then we did kilograms and grams, and 1 kilogram, okay, think a kilo, 1,000. 1 kilogram was 1,000 grams. And then today, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so a milliliter is very, very small. Think of the paper clip and the bottle of soda, the weight of those. This is the same. Okay, 1,000 milliliters is just like one of those ones cubes. Teeny, 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 tiny. You would need 1,000 of those to pour into here just to make your 1 liter. Okay. Now, I don't expect you guys to be drawing these beakers, but if it's helpful for you to draw something similar, then you're welcome to do that. I just want you to have these conversions. All right, here I have a beaker. Now, this beaker is different than the one in the previous picture. This one stops at 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter. This one goes all the way up to 3 liters or 3,000 milliliters. Okay, if we take 3 and we multiply it by 1,000, we get our 3,000. So take a look. My water is filled up to that blue line. How many milliliters do you see? It's kind of tricky because there isn't a number next to it. You can see that it says 1.5 liters, but there isn't a mark there. If you notice, it's halfway right in between 14 and 16. Okay, so it counts up by even numbers, 12, 14, 16, 18. So what's between 14 and 16? 1,500. So there are 1,500 milliliters. Now, what if we were to convert that? Because now we know that 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. So if we were to convert that, looking up in the right-hand corner here, that 1,000 would turn into 1 liter, and the 500 would be kept in milliliters because we'd need 1,000 to make a liter, and we're only left with, I don't like the way I just made that 0, we're only left with 500 milliliters. Okay, so this spot is the same as 1 liter, 500 milliliters. Okay, now what if I were to fill up my beaker a little bit more, up to 2,200 milliliters. So there's my 2,200 milliliters. But I want to know, how much is that in liters? Well, I can convert that 2,000 to 2 liters. For every 1,000 becomes a liter. And then I'm left with 200 milliliters. So if this were written on the beaker, it would say 2 liters, 200 milliliters. They actually turn it into fractions on the left side there, instead of liters and milliliters. What if I were to fill my beaker up 800 milliliters more? 800 milliliters more. So right now I'm at 2,200 plus 800. So if I have 2,200 plus 800 milliliters, that's going to equal 3,000 milliliters, okay? I'd end up filling my water right up to the max capacity, 3,000 milliliters, which is the same as 3 liters. And you can see that right at the top there, 3 liters. Okay, let's go ahead and do some addition now. 32 liters, 420 milliliters. So think of that. This is only 3 liters, so you're talking 32 liters. That's quite a bit, a couple buckets worth. Plus 13 liters, 585 milliliters. Now remember, we worked through 2 ways to do this. One is to keep mixed units, add, and convert as necessary. The other is to convert to your smaller units, which would be milliliters, and then add. On A, I'm going to keep my mixed units, add, and then convert back at the end. Or convert my milliliters if necessary. Remember, if you have more than 1,000 milliliters, you will need to convert to liters. Okay. Now that I'm stacked, I have my space between my liters and milliliters. And I'm labeled with liters and milliliters. I can go ahead and add. 0 plus 5 equals 5. 8 plus 2 equals 10. Sorry, I'm starting on the bottom instead of on the top. 4 plus 5 equals 9 plus 1 equals 10. Now, we went over 1,000. We ended up with 1,005. So if I convert that, I'm going to end up having 1 liter with 5 milliliters left that I will need to add to the liters that I get over here. So bring my unit down. 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 3 plus 1 equals 4. But I need to add the liter that I got over here. So 45 plus 1 equals 46 liters, and I'm left with 5 milliliters. Alright, coming over here, let's convert these first. So 32 liters would be the same as 32,420. So I just multiplied this by 1,000 and then stuck the rest at the end. 32,000 plus 420. Plus 13 liters would turn into 13,585. Now that I'm stacked, I can go ahead and add. Now I definitely prefer this way. I just feel like it's a lot easier to convert to smaller units and then convert back to mixed units. 8 plus 2, 10. Another 10. 6, and 4. 46,005 milliliters. Now if I were to convert this back, 46,000 would turn into 46 liters, and am left with only 5 milliliters. Now if I did that correctly, I should have gotten the same thing I got over here, and yes, I did. All right, subtraction. Okay, same thing. Let's do A, where we keep them the same. Stack, 8 liters, 600 milliliters. Okay. Now, over here, before I even go any further, I'm going to convert these. So I'm going to have 12,215 minus 8,600. So I just converted both of these. And I'm going to write milliliters here. Okay, what I would like you guys to do is I would like you to set that up just like you see it here. I want you to go ahead and solve them. But what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to pause the video, and then when you've finished both of them, go ahead and push play and see if you got them correct. So go ahead and push pause, solve, and then push play to see if you got them correct. Okay, go ahead. Alright guys, now that you solve these on your own, I'm going to show you how to solve it. So I'm noticing right away that I can't take 600 milliliters away from 215 milliliters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my liters, and I'm going to regroup a liter. I'm going to exchange it. So this will become 11 liters, and this will become 1,215 liters, because remember, there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Now I can go ahead and subtract. So I'm going to, go ahead and do 5 take away 0 is 5, 1 take away 0 is 1. Okay, this becomes a 0, this becomes a 12, 12 take away 6 equals 615 milliliters, but don't forget to subtract your liters. 11 take away 8 liters is 3 liters. Okay, coming over here to B, I'll write my units. 5 take away 0, 1 take away 0, and basically we're going to do the same thing we did over on A side. We're going to come over here and exchange 1,000 for 1,200s. 1,200s take away 600s is 600s. Okay. 11,000s take away 8,000s is 3,000s. You'll notice the similarities. Okay, this is smaller units. If we were to convert, 3 would turn into 3 liters, and 615 would stay in milliliters. 3 liters, 615 milliliters. Alright guys, we're going to quickly get through this word problem. We have Jennifer, and she's making 2,170 milliliters of her favorite drink that combines iced tea and lemonade, and that is popular. I like to do that as well. I like to mix my tea and my lemonade. If she puts 1 liter, 300 milliliters of iced tea, how much lemonade does she need? So we're going for a part whole. Her whole thing of lemonade is going to have 2,170 milliliters. And she puts in 1 liter, 300 milliliters of iced tea. And we want to know how much lemonade she needs still. So we're going to start with her whole and subtract her iced tea to find out how much lemonade she will need. Honestly, I prefer staying with milliliters, so I'm going to stay in the smaller unit. If I'm going to subtract 1 liter, 300 milliliters, that 1 liter will turn into 1,300 milliliters. Okay? 0 take away 0, 0. 7 take away 0, 7. Exchange this 1,000 for 1100s. 11 take away 3 equals 8 and 0. So, Jennifer is going to need 870 milliliters of lemonade. Okie dokie, Smokies, go ahead and get started on your problem set.